Ever feel like the price of your coffee is somehow connected to a decision made halfway across the world? Or have you ever wondered why some economies boom while others just struggle? Well, you're right, these aren't just random events. They're all part of a huge, interconnected system called macroeconomics. It sounds complicated, I know, but today, we're going to make it simple. Let's dive right in.
So let's start with a feeling I bet we've all had recently. You're at the grocery store, you're filling up your car with gas, and you just can't shake that thought. Man, why does everything feel so much more expensive? You are not imagining it. And the answer to that question gets us right to the very heart of macroeconomics. And that answer starts with this idea right here, purchasing power. It's a simple concept, really. It's not about how many dollars you have in the bank. It's about what those dollars can actually get you. It's the real honest-to-goodness strength of your money.
So when you get that feeling like your money just doesn't go as far as it used to, you're absolutely right. Your purchasing power is falling. That same $10 bill is buying a smaller and smaller cart of groceries. And this slow, steady shrinking of your money's value, it has a name we've all been hearing a lot lately: inflation.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with why your money shrinks, then we'll zoom out to the big picture, see who's pulling the levers, connect that to the global web, look at the economy's natural rhythm of booms and busts, and then, most importantly, bring it all back to what it means for you.
All right, first up, why your money shrinks. Let's get into what's really going on behind inflation.
First, it's super important to get this distinction right. You see a sudden spike in gas prices that goes away after a few weeks? That's just a price shock. Annoying, for sure, but temporary. Inflation, on the other hand, is different. It's a slow, steady, relentless climb in the price of everything. It's not a temporary headache. It's a long-term force that literally changes your financial future.
So what's causing it? Well, it's usually a mix of these four big forces. You've got demand, basically too many people chasing too few goods. You've got supply, where it suddenly gets way more expensive to make stuff. Then there's the monetary side. That's when there's more money being printed than there is actual stuff to buy. And finally, you have expectations. This is a wild one. It's a psychological loop, where if we all believe prices are going up, we change our behavior, and that actually causes prices to go up.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Inflation is like a hidden tax on savers. Think about it. It steals value right out of your savings account, but you never see a withdrawal notice. The number of dollars you have stays the same, but what they can actually buy just vanishes.
Okay, on to section 2, the economy's big picture. Now we're going to zoom out from our own wallets and look at how this whole system fits together.
Economics really has two main lenses. On one side, you've got microeconomics. That's like looking at a single tree, asking why one specific product costs what it does. But macroeconomics, what we're talking about today, zooms way out to look at the entire forest. It's not worried about one apple. It asks that big question we started with. Why does everything seem to be getting more expensive?
And at the heart of that whole forest is this beautiful, simple engine called the circular flow. Businesses produce stuff, which creates income for people like you and me. We then use that income to buy stuff, and our spending creates the demand for businesses to produce even more stuff. It's this self-sustaining loop, and the health of the entire economy really depends on keeping that flow moving nice and smooth.
Section 3. Who pulls the levers? So if the economy is this big engine, who's in the driver's seat? Well, that would be these two: governments and central banks.
Now, these two players have very different toolkits. The government uses what's called fiscal policy. It can hit the gas by spending more or hit the brakes by taxing more. The central bank, on the other hand, uses monetary policy. Its main tool is adjusting interest rates to make borrowing money either cheaper or more expensive. Two different sets of controls, both trying to keep the economy from crashing.
Let's focus in on the central bank for a second. Think of it as the ultimate financial authority. It's literally the bank for all the other banks. Its number one job above everything else is to keep inflation in check, and its main weapon, the policy interest rate. Just a tiny change to that one rate sends a ripple effect through the entire economy, affecting the cost of your mortgage, your car loan, pretty much everything. And, this is crucial, they are designed to be independent from the day-to-day political chaos, so they can make tough, long-term calls.
Okay, next up, the world's economic web. Because let's be real, no country's economy exists in a bubble. We are all tangled up together through trade, currencies, and money that's constantly flowing across borders.
And the absolute key to this global web is the exchange rate. It's just the price of one currency compared to another, and it's all determined by a constant tug of war between supply and demand. If a ton of people all over the world suddenly want US dollars, boom, the dollar's value gets stronger. That single number can change the price of every single thing that crosses a border.
All this global buying and selling gets tallied up into the trade balance. It sounds technical, but it's really simple. A surplus just means you sell more stuff to the world than you buy. A deficit means you buy more than you sell. But here's the key takeaway. Neither one is automatically good or bad. The real story is always in the why a country has that surplus or deficit in the first place.
On to Section 5, booms, busts, and growth. Because economies never ever move in a perfectly straight line. They have a natural rhythm, almost like breathing in an app.
Now, the most common way we measure an economy's size is with something called GDP. But here's the catch. There are two types. Nominal GDP can be really misleading because it can go up just because prices went up. The number that actually matters is real GDP. It strips out the effect of inflation, so it gives us a true, honest look at whether the economy is actually producing more stuff or if things are just getting more expensive.
And that real growth happens in a pretty predictable cycle. You have an expansion where jobs are plentiful and people are spending, then things slow down, sometimes tipping into a recession where the economy actually shrinks, but eventually a recovery kicks in and starts the whole cycle all over again. This isn't a sign of failure, it's just the natural pulse of a market economy.
Okay, final section. Making sense of it all. We've gone from your wallet all the way to the global stage. Now let's bring it all back home and talk about how this stuff actually applies to your life.
So after all of that, we're left with the most important question of all. What are you supposed to do with this knowledge?
Look, this knowledge is basically a superpower. It means that the next time you hear the central bank is changing interest rates, you'll instantly know what that might mean for your savings or your mortgage. When you see a GDP report on the news, you'll understand what it means for your job security. It's about turning confusing headlines into a personal financial strategy.
Because the one thing you can absolutely guarantee is that the economy will never stand still. It is always changing, always moving, always evolving. We've just given you the map and the compass. The only question left is, are you ready for what comes next?